welcome back, guys. We got a little unveiling for you. You guys have seen possibly the cover photo, you know. Anywho, bringing out the mega truck. We're gonna get it ready. We got the season unveiling here, probably a couple weeks from now. Gonna be taking her for a rip. So we're gonna kind of give you a walk around, show you what we're working with here, and we got a small project in the shop we're gonna wrap up. We got a 5.3 we tore out of a truck a few episodes back. You know, just a stock beater. We just want to have a spare one on hand. Yeah, a couple years ago we were in an event, and we've been riding the motor, you know, kind of tooling around before our race. So let's show you what we got. So it is, or started life as a 03 Silverado cat eye truck, regular type short box, tube chassis, kind of a, you know, straight frame dealio there. She's got a turbo 6-liter LS. We're playing around the 4-digit territory with enough boost. We've got her turned up to around 24 psi. We like to have a good time anyways. So she's a corn burner. You know, we try to support our environment and, you know, all that good stuff. But she give you a little peekaroo in here. Full containment setup in there. Like I said, we like to you know, drink beer, hit jumps, do fun stuff like that. You know, another little project. We got our Blazer. It's kind of our cruise around. We call that the wife's truck, but it's really just for us and the guys to, you know, drink beer and drive around. Got the old race car you guys seen in the previous video as well. So kind of what we got going on, just getting things ready. Season's busting open, and actually we're probably a couple weeks behind as it is, but you know, it is what it is. Trying to take care of everybody else's projects. You know, yours always falls on the back burner. So running a Holley Terminator system on it. Oh, got VS Racing 7875. A little bit of head work, small cam. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. We'll see if we can get her to start up for us and let you guys hear it for the first time. Kind of run down here. We got our Ultra Shield full containment seat, running our Holley Terminator X system, the old gated shifter in her. She sat for a little while. She's kind of a cold-blooded old girl, so we're gonna go ahead and get the battery turned on, get her fired up here, and see if she'll take off. We do have a little work to do to her. So she basically, we had a situation. We took out the Silver Lake sand dunes last year, and we were having an intermittent crank signal issue, so we may actually have to tear this thing down. It starts sporadically, it'll shut off sporadically. Everything we've looked at seems like, according to the Holley, we're losing crank signal. We're not sure if the crank is walking, but this thing is a, you know, because we're cheap around here, remember that. You know, it's 158,000 mile, you know, Gen 4 6-liter out of like a 2011 Silverado. Just the old Summit Racing 8711, you know. Richard Holden there told us that's the cam for 6.2s. We had a 6.2 in it before, but we transferred over to 6-liter. Other than that, yeah, let's see what happens, see if she'll touch off, and hopefully give you guys a little unveiling, and then we'll jump into our next project, kind of wrapping up this 5.3. Again, just a back burner motor. We got, I mean, between this, our little Blazer, we got that fine unit. We got an LS in pretty much everything we own. You know, we got that BMW we discussed in the past. So we got, you know, so let's see what we can do. Well, not too bad for sitting over the winter. So we got, like I said, we got a little E85 in there, so that stuff there is kind of finicky. You got to make sure you know, with the moisture, gotta make sure you start it every once in a while. So, gonna kind of walk around with it running, let you hear it a little bit. together for a few years, but she still rips. Probably the worst part about these damn trucks, you gotta climb up the tire, you know. Yeah, with the old Chinese choo-choo boy on her, sounds pretty good. Got a 5-inch coming out the fender, so that's always fun. So yeah, we're gonna kind of want to give you guys a walk around of that. I know people have been asking about wanting to see that and bring her out, and figure it's gonna be time. Hopefully in the next video or two, we're gonna have a little event we're going to over in Cadillac, Michigan, in that area. Got an event over there at a local fairground, so see if we can hit some sweet jumps and bog it a little bit, you know. It's kind of what we do around here. It's that time of the year. It's spring, mud, you know, rain, all that kinds of good stuff. So that'll be what's to come. But like I said, we're going to slam together that little Project 5.3 just so we got it as a back burner. Again, we got it for free. It was a core motor out, you know. We had a couple vent push rods. We're going to do a DOD delete on it. Put a regular camshaft in it, get rid of all those, you know, active fuel management lifters that fail. So let's get to it. All right, guys, so we got that little 5.3 project we were talking about. This is the motor out of a Seira previously shown. Go a couple few videos back if you want to see where this came from. It's not a lot. It's literally, like I said, it was a core engine. The people had installed their own lifters, had all kinds of failures there. So basically what we're doing is we're going to tear it down for the most part, pull the front end off, you know, take the timing, you know, chain, cover, all that stuff, pull the cam, because the cam was bad, and we are going to kind of give her a clean up. We got to change this cover. We got a good donor one off of 4.8 we have laying around. Here are the oil cooler lines. We got a fresh set of takeoff heads we're going to throw on it. Just probably get it together, set it on the engine stand, put it out back, and, you know, if we need it, it's there. So, all right, guys, we're going to start. Yeah, there's probably a little residual oil in the bottom. We did drain it when it was up on the hoist when we pulled this thing out, but we want to take and make sure there's no residual. We got to pop the pan. There's a check valve, a pressure relief valve in the pan on these engines. We actually got to plug that port. So I'll go ahead and pull, at least get as much as we can out of here. Yeah, see, there's still a little bit left, so. I'll let that drain out. So basically, though, we have to pull the accessory drive, or what's left, which is basically the water pump, the harmonic balancer, get the timing cover off. After we get the timing cover removed, camshaft, got a tensioner, oil pump, all that stuff. Biggest thing is getting the pan off, because you got to pull the pan, to pull the pickup tube, to pull the oil pump, to pull the timing cover, or the, the tensioner, because we're removing the tensioner as well. We're going to put a LS2 style damper in it. It's going to be more of like a little wishbone deal versus the plastic guides that tend to fall apart. So, again, just a stock non-AFM 5.3. I guess if we get something that needs it, or somebody needs it after the fact, maybe a buddy or whatever, we can always hook them up with it. But at least this way, we're making use with the parts we have laying around and kind of just picking up some shit. So let's get back at it. So guys, I don't know if you ran into this before on these things, but there is a special puller to pulling these harmonic balancers off. I got the Blue Point version. I know Lyle Tools makes them. There's a few different ones out there. Yeah, if you're looking for one, there's a Blue Point number anyways. Basically 3-jaw puller, but with a big rod, you know. That's kind of what you get. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull that off, kind of show you how that, you know, rolls out. Once that's off out of the way, then we're into taking the timing cover off and getting the rest of the stuff going. So biggest thing, I wanted to show you that real fast and kind of show you how it works. All right, basically assemble it, put the rod in the hole, You know what's up. Hook this unit on there. So they tell you not to use an impact, but Tom, I hope you're not watching this. Makes quick work of that anyways. So this engine has the variable valve timing. Basically what that does is you got a solenoid on the front that kind of, you know, it's an electromagnet, whatever. It basically pushes this dude in and controls the oil pressure to adjust and, you know, advance and retard the timing. Yeah, power gains by that, you know, from a factory standpoint, but where we're going, it really don't matter. Plus, if we put a straight cam in this, if we decide to swap it into a truck that's newer, we can always, you know, just turn it off with HP tuners. If we go the other way, it's already ready to go, non-VBT. So we're gonna pull the oil pump. Biggest problem is down here, there is a bolt you can't get to unless the pan is off. You can fish it out, you just can't put it back in. So we're gonna rotate the engine over and at that point, get the pan off and get to the rest of the goodies and get this camshaft out and get it replaced. All right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and pop the pan off here and at least see what we got going on. This motor did run. It just is, like I said earlier, it just had a lifter failure and it was assembled wrong. So hopefully everything's good under here. We're gonna find out though. Just a quick moment. All right, I got the pan off. Kind of give you the gist of what's going on. We have this splash shield here. We're gonna pull that out. Oh, we got something on the pickup too. What the hell is that? Some hair, it looks like. Ooh. That probably didn't feel good. So we're gonna go down here. This is the pressure relief valve, dude. We're gonna get rid of that. PS, that's it's a 14 by 1.5. We use a 14 by 1.5 metric pipe plug. Seems to work out pretty well. I see guys use like oil drain plugs and whatnot, but anything just to plug that off. Because we're going to change the oil pump too, just to put a standard volume. These are a different pressure. You know, you do the added pressure with the active fuel management and whatnot. So we got a 4.8 we're going to cannibalize for a lot of those components. So that's what we're going to get at. We're going to pull this shield off, get the pickup tube out of the way, kind of get the rest of this tore down, then we get the camshaft out. See if we can get it. All right, guys, we got our cam retainer plate. We're gonna pull that off. Generally nice to replace these, but we'll see. We did buy just one of them cheap Mr. Gasket pieces of shit, but it'll work. The biggest thing is these things here, you know, if you look right in here where that orange O-ring is, that kind of seals off your oil pressure. So it helps. We're gonna go ahead and pull this camshaft out. I can give you a better example of what the hell happened to it. We're hoping, I'm just kidding. There's one thing you never look at on LS. You never look at the cam bearings. That's a trade secret, my friend. But, so the AFM cams, the reason we're changing it other than it's a piece of shit, the AFM or DOD cams, the lobe profile is different on the 4 cylinders they shut down. With that being said, it'll throw a random cylinder misfire code. You know, if you're running a stock ECU, but there is one of these bad boys that we recognized was not so hot. So let's see if we can find her here. There she is right there. It's gonna be kind of hard to see. I don't know, you see kind of a, almost like a chatter. Basically what that is, they ran it too long with the lifter failed and just beat the piss out of the cam. So, like I said, we're gonna throw a stock. We actually have a Gen 3 cam we're gonna put in it, just something we had laying around just to get it back together. And we'll show you that stuff there. See what we got here. Let's get her done. All right, guys, we got the new cam, the donor, but I wanted to go through a couple things with you just to kind of show you what we're doing and getting rid of here. So, again, this was a single bolt cam with variable valve timing. That's what this little dude is here. And you can see it has a kind of a raised area. This is where the cam sensor reads off of. And it also had a spring-loaded style tensioner, but they tend to get a shit ton of wear. They do. They probably work better technically. You get less slop, but where we're going, our better option is to put the old dog bone tensioner in. So here's the Cloy's number for you for future reference. We'll open that box up real quick. Do our damnedest anyways, open the box up. And it bolts right in place. It's more of a damper is what it is. And then we are converting over to a 3-bolt old style cam. That's what a 3-bolt looks like. And then you can look, it has the original cam sensor read in the back, but we're using a front cam sensor on this engine. That's what Gen 4s use. So you just buy a special 3-bolt gear here. Part number right there, Cloy's. And what you'll see, we got 3 bolts. We also got 4 poles. It may look a little different, but each one of those marks is where that cam sensor reads. You got to get the corresponding timing cover and all that good stuff. Again, we're parting out of 4.8. 4.8s never came with active fuel management, so we ended up scoring a core engine from there. So we're going to cannibalize that and this, put some shit together, and get a motor. Right? Remember, this is just a spare. All it is something to sit on the shelf in case we blow it up the day before the race. I'm just saying, you never know what might happen. Probably because it has to me. So, yeah, we're gonna get right to it. Just want to show you guys that, give you a little, explanation of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So, she's gonna slide right in there, nice. So I got my my trusty lubra plate. One of my old boy buddies, he talked me into that shit. It works really good. It looks like white lithium grease. It's not. It's actually really good stuff, and it clings on. I've used the Permatex stuff, and it's not a Joe Gibbs driven type product, but it's a little more affordable. And again, look what it's going. Does it really matter? So the biggest thing is we want to lube up the old camshaft. Make sure you want to put that on there nice and thick. Get it all in there nice and deep like. And then kind of use the cam bearing to support it. I like to just put it on there liberally, just coat the whole unit. And then what we'll do is we'll get some long, the trick is actually the water pump bolts for putting the cam in on a 3-bolt. If you guys ever want to deal with that. But without bolts, you can get her in a ways. And we're going to go ahead and do that process and send her home, you know. Maybe, if that, we made it use the old hammer trick here, but there she goes. All right, I'm gonna grab a couple of those bolts, wrap that up. Thread those units in there. Gives you a little leverage what it does, so. So you guys didn't even have to spit on it. There we go. All right, we got the camshaft installed. We got our super Chinese Mr. Gasket, you know, cam retainer plate. So we're gonna sand, you know, bolt this down, get her fastened up, and then we can install our new cam gear on the cam. I always like to put a, you know, just a little bit of lube on here, just a skosh, because you know that rides right on the back of the old cam plate. These bolts already Loctited, we're good. You always want your red thread locker on there. I think it's like 22 foot-pounds for these, but we're just gonna bump them with the old 3/8 gun. The old snap-on, she's dialed, so. Couple of those, drop one in the dirt, that always helps. You know, cross-thread or torque to spec, you know, tight is tight. That's what's important, guys. You know, with these timing these as well, we're gonna go point to point. We'll make sure we bring you along for that. You send that home. We got the old 3-bolt cam gear. We're gonna pull this dude back out because they do move around a little bit. Again, we got our, you know, kind of funny, Chloe's got a GM number on it right there. See that? There we go. So they do have a small dimple here. Again, we run them point to point on an LS. You know what works nice is the old oil pan bolts are the exact same bolts that you need for your timing setup there for your cam gear on a 3-bolt. Same bolt, works out just fine. We put a little of the good stuff on there. Of course, budget minded, we're gonna use the old chain, because you know what? It don't really matter. It's gonna be just fine. So the biggest thing is you wanna hang it on the old crankshaft. Kind of fish this guy in there. The biggest thing is kind of setting her up on there and getting your bolt started. Let's see. Oh yeah, look at that. She's lining right up. Use the old impact, send these home. We're gonna bolt our new damper down and we're ready to put it back together. This thing is gonna be minty fresh. It's brand freaking new. All right, so we got the oil pump on. We got her about ready to go. So one thing I want to talk to you guys about, so we have the oil pump pickup tube O-ring. There's always a different color. It seems like there's, you know, green and black and red. You want to match up what was on there. We're using an old pickup tube with a new pump just because, you know, we're cheap again. Remember, guys, we talked about that. but you can kind of see the red tinge that was there before. So they're a different diameter. I'm gonna make sure we, you know, we're gonna stick that in there and should be good to go. After the pickup tube is on, timing cover, and at that point, flip her over, get the heads on. Let's get to her. So the timing covers, we were kind of talking briefly earlier. You see this one smooth here, we went to a non-variable valve timing cover, and this one here had the actuator on it. That's the deal that is the electromagnet, kind of adjust oil flow to the camshaft there. This guy here, right, you know. So, putting this new cover on, getting rid of all that stuff. Again, the purpose of this motor, just to be something we can put in if we need it. Again, it could be, you know, the wife's daily driver, could be the mud truck, you never know what's gonna end up in, but it's a spare. So guys, one of the things that they always forget to mention to you, make sure you blow out the head bolt holes. The LSs are prone for, you know, a little bit of coolant getting in there, and then you can actually crack the block. There's plenty of those videos going around the old interwebs. So make sure you, it don't take much, just to kind of douche her out, make sure you get all the antifreeze or any other BS that's in there. All right, guys, putting the old lifters in. So we did away with the AFM lifters. Them are the ones with the old spring on it, so we're putting just the old standards in. Again, from our cannibalized 4.8, so just gonna lube them up, slam them in, then we can bolt the head on, and repeat the other side. We're gonna pull this dude off. We got the old A36 bearing. You take the little rollers out and drive them inside the block. We'll show you that trick too. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing slammed together, and then jump to the other side, and then we'll get into that there. We're gonna do the valve train, all that good stuff too. So let's get to it. All right, we got some new head bolts. You know, you gotta change those or torque to yield. So which means they stretch when you tighten them up. The old Felpro. You gotta make sure you check your ears too, guys, because it does matter. Some of these have different depth holes. I know Gen 3s are shorter than Gen 4s. Which is just generation of the engine. We just got Felpro stuff, basic stuff. If you're doing a stocker, that's great, you know, but if you're gonna boost the hell out of it, you know, we like to run AC Delco gaskets, do like a 7-layer or something like that, but in this case, we're good. So, we got our dowel pins back in, we got our lifters put in there, everything's torqued down. That's the worst part about these things, you gotta pull the damn head off to get to the lifter, but there is a front. If you look at the gasket, so they are directional. Make sure you peek at that there. Biggest reason is these coolant passages here, if you want to see what the difference is. Blocked off up front because we have steam ports there. On the back, that's their coolant flow. So, big deal. You flip around, you'll have an overheating POS. So, like I said, we're just going to get this other head slammed down, do our valve train, and should be ready to rock. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think so.
Take a look here.
Looks like she's ready to take it on.
Well, with this thing here being a, you know, high mileage motor, it's already got the old ring gap for boost, you know. So
yeah.
So we got that on, drop our bolts in, and go through and send them home. There is a torque spec for these. You got to make sure you're kind of basically work your way in a big spiral. We got to take a look at that chart real quick here, but pretty standard stuff. I like to bump them down with the impact just to get them down. Got the old 15 on the 3/8 gun. I'm sure there's probably not supposed to do this, but again, just take it down to hold it. I mean, you're not going crazy with it. done. Ah, I'm just kidding. No, we're gonna hit a torque wrench, and they are torque peeled, so you gotta hit them twice, and then give her the old 90-degree swing. So we got these little guys across the top, but we're gonna save you the boring stuff, and we're gonna get this stuff put together real fast. So one of the last pieces to these DOD deletes, guys, is in the oil pan. You gotta plug off a pressure relief valve. This little unit here kind of helps blow off pressure when the AFM lifters shut down. It's like an auxiliary relief valve. So we put a normal standard volume pump in it, like an early 5.3 would have. And one of the other things you gotta get rid of is this dude. So right here, nice little 14 by 1.5. It's a metric pipe thread is what we use. Now this may be a straight, but it works out fine, you know? Done it a few times, it's all right. So wrap that up. You also want to make sure when you're putting your oil pan on, you always want to get the four corners with a little silicone. Then slam your gasket on, put the pan on, and she's minty fresh. Let's get her done. Okay, so we got her all put back together for the most part. Cylinder heads are on, torque down, got the rockers and push rods and all that good stuff. So we're down to putting the new valley cover on that blocks this stuff off. So here's the deal: the oil pressure comes up through these ports and is controlled by this unit here. This was the old valley cover. And that kind of directs the oil flow to the lifters to turn them on and off. We're doing with the crap. You know, it was a bad design. Yeah, it lasted and worked kind of in some people's vehicles, but in our situation, it was shit. So basically, you can generally just bolt a cover on. So we have the new cover sitting right here, and you can see it has the little O-ring dealios to seal them passages off. But we know them are common for failing. So what we're looking at doing is we're going to take the old infamous A36 bearing and basically grind the cage off. And then at that point we can use the rollers and you drive them in and plug them off. Now there is higher end ways of doing it. Lingenfelter sells rivets. There's other guys that'll drill and tap it. They do work. Lingenfelter kit's nice, it's expensive. Drilling and tapping it, great. Except for, you know, if you're doing a new build, awesome. In our situation, we're not pulling it down. So why not take these things and send them home? So we're gonna show you how that's done. Let's, biggest thing is go ahead and get this thing cut apart. We'll see if our buddy Frank here will give us a hand. And yeah, see if they fit. So let's get this cut apart and we'll tune back in. So we got these things ground apart, just cut a slit in it, and then we need to get the cage apart like that. So what we're looking for is these little dudes. So basically we take these guys and they fit in there and you send them home all nice and deep like. So basically a little tappy tappy and they go in. So let's show you how that's done. All right, so we got our, you don't want to smash the hell out of your fingers, so grab some pliers. And basically just send these dudes home. You know, beat them like they owe you money. Let's get this gasket out of the way here. And that's it. We'll just do that 7 more times and should be buttoned up. All right, we got all those dudes sent home. I'm gonna slam this valley cover on and we're about wrapped up with this project here. So we got the all them knocked in. Got our valley cover on. We're just gonna go ahead and get these guys tightened up. Hit them at 22 foot-pounds when you're all done. Make sure they're good to go. So, just wanted to wrap this project up, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for, you know, hanging out with us. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Appreciate it. Thanks again.